They smiled at you, made you feel seen, understood, special. And that smile, that perfect charm, was the trap. 1 in every 100 people you meet is a psychopath. Not the movie version, not the serial killer, the one sitting across from you at dinner, the one you're dating, the one managing your team. And here's what terrifies me. You've already met several, and you probably didn't know. Today I'm showing you 5 psychological signs, 5 patterns the Stoics recognized 2,000 years ago, that modern neuroscience is only now confirming. By the end, you'll know exactly what to look for. And more importantly, you'll know how to protect yourself, because recognition is the first step to freedom. Let me tell you about Marcus. Successful, intelligent, decent judge of character. Or so he thought. He met her at a coffee shop. She wasn't just attractive, she was magnetic. She listened like nobody had ever listened before. She asked about his childhood, his dreams, his fears. Within 2 weeks, she knew him better than friends he'd had for years. Within a month, she mirrored everything he wanted. His taste in music, his values, his sense of humor. It felt like destiny. 6 months later, Marcus didn't recognize his own life. His friends had quietly disappeared. They don't get us. His savings were mysteriously gone. I needed help. You said you'd always be there. His confidence was shattered. Why are you so sensitive? And here's the darkest part. Every time he questioned her, somehow he ended up apologizing. It took his therapist 3 sessions to say the word. Psychopath. Marcus isn't alone. Research shows psychopaths make up 1% of the general population, but they occupy 20% of prison populations and a disproportionate number of corporate leadership positions. They're not all killers. Most are invisible, undetected, destroying lives quietly. Epictetus warned his students, the first step to freedom is recognizing the chains. So let's learn to see what's designed to be invisible. Sign 1. Charm that feels too perfect. Here's what people miss. Charm isn't the problem. Flawless charm is. Psychopaths are masters of first impressions. Dr. Robert Hare, who created the clinical psychopathy checklist, found they score extremely high on something called superficial charm. They don't just make you like them, they make you feel like you've known them your entire life within minutes. But here's the test. Watch what happens when you go deeper. Normal people have rough edges. They stumble. They show genuine vulnerability. They disagree with you sometimes. Psychopaths, they're chameleons. They become whoever you need them to be. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." He was teaching his students to look beyond the performance. Here's how to spot it. Ask them about their flaws, their failures, a time they were completely wrong. A healthy person will pause, maybe laugh at themselves, show real reflection. A psychopath will either deflect with more charm, turn it back on you, or give you an answer that's too polished, too rehearsed, like they've used it 100 times. Because they have. The mask is perfect, because it's all they are. Sign 2. They perform emotion. They don't feel it. This one's subtle, so pay attention. You tell them your mother died. They say, "I'm so sorry." Perfect timing, perfect face. But something feels off. What you're sensing is the difference between performed empathy and felt empathy. Dr. Kiehl scanned the brains of hundreds of psychopaths. He found the emotional centers show reduced activity when viewing people in distress. They recognize the emotion intellectually, but they don't feel it. It's like watching a good actor play sadness. Convincing, but a performance. Watch for two things. Emotional lag. When something shocking happens, there's a microsecond delay. They're processing what the appropriate response is, then executing it. It's not spontaneous. Emotional mismatch. They tell you a tragic story, but their eyes are smiling. They describe anger, but their body is relaxed. The signals don't align because they're manufacturing it. Seneca wrote, "A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." He understood that genuine emotion is natural, human. Psychopaths don't suffer. They don't feel joy. They simulate both. The absence of authentic feeling is one of the clearest signs. Sign 3. They lie, even when there's no reason to. Most people lie to avoid consequences. Psychopaths lie for sport. A convicted psychopath was asked why he lied about having a college degree for a job that didn't require one. His answer, "Because I could." It was more interesting than the truth. This isn't about covering mistakes. This is about control. They lie in 3 ways. Normal liars don't. First, they lie about easily verifiable facts. Things you could check. They don't care. They believe they can talk their way out of anything. Second, they contradict themselves without blinking. You catch them, point it out, and they'll deny they said it, claim you misunderstood, or create a new lie to explain the old one. The goal isn't truth. The goal is keeping you off balance. Third, they mix truth with lies seamlessly. 70% might be completely true, but the 30% that's false, that's where the knife lives. Marcus Aurelius faced liars constantly in the Roman court. He wrote, "Look beneath the surface. Let not the worth of a thing escape you." He was teaching verification, healthy skepticism. Your defense, become a gentle fact-checker, not obsessively, but pay attention. If someone claims expertise, watch if their knowledge holds up. If they tell you they went to Harvard, notice if they actually know anything about Harvard. Psychopaths count on you being polite, on you not wanting to seem suspicious. The Stoics would tell you, wisdom requires doubt. Sign 4. Grandiose self-worth that doesn't match reality. Confidence is attractive. Grandiosity is a warning. Here's the difference. A confident person acknowledges others' talents without feeling threatened. A psychopath needs to be the most important person in every room, and they'll rewrite reality to make it so. They'll tell you they're a genius investor, while secretly drowning in debt. They'll claim massive success, while running scams. They'll play the victim of jealous rivals, when really they were fired for incompetence, and when reality doesn't match their self-image. They don't adjust the image. They attack reality. This shows up 3 ways. They can't handle criticism. Any challenge is met with rage or cold dismissal. They need constant admiration. Respect isn't enough. You must worship them. Stop providing it. They'll discard you. They genuinely believe rules don't apply, not rebelliously. In an "I'm special, I'm above this way," Epictetus taught, it is impossible to learn what you think you already know. Psychopaths are unteachable because they believe they're already superior. The Stoic response? Judge people by actions over time, not by their claims about themselves. Sign 5. Complete absence of remorse. This is the most chilling. Imagine hurting someone you love. Feel that gut punch of guilt, that immediate urge to make it right. That's your conscience. That's what makes you human. Psychopaths don't have that feeling. Not because they suppress it, because it doesn't exist. Dr. James Blair's research found psychopaths understand right from wrong intellectually. They know stealing is bad, like they know 2 + 2 = 4. It's a fact, but they don't feel it's wrong. So when they hurt you, they might say, "I'm sorry," because they learned that's what you want to hear. But watch what comes next. Do their action change, or do they do the exact same thing again? Real remorse modifies behavior. Psychopaths modify their excuse. They'll justify, blame you, claim they had no choice, say you're too sensitive, but they will not own the harm. Because to them, it wasn't harm. It was just a move in a game. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." The Stoics believed recognizing errors and making amends was essential to character. Psychopaths don't build character, they build personas. Here's the test. Set a real boundary, cause them genuine inconvenience. A healthy person might be disappointed, but will respect it. A psychopath will rage, guilt trip you, or methodically plan revenge. Because you're not a person with needs, you're an obstacle to their wants. So what do the Stoics teach about dealing with psychopaths? 3 principles. First, acceptance without submission. Epictetus taught, "Some things are in our control, some are not." You cannot change a psychopath. You cannot love them into having a conscience. Accept what they are, but don't submit to manipulation. Second, strategic distance. Marcus Aurelius served alongside corrupt people his entire life. He didn't try to fix them. He maintained boundaries, limited their access. You can do the same. Third, protect your inner citadel. The Stoics believed your mind is your fortress. A psychopath can manipulate your emotions, your perceptions, even your relationships. But they cannot touch your fundamental worth unless you let them. Your value isn't determined by their assessment. If you're seeing multiple signs, consistently, over time, trust your instincts. The Stoics would tell you wisdom includes knowing when to walk away. Your peace of mind is not a sacrifice you owe to someone else's dysfunction. Remember Marcus? He eventually left. It wasn't easy. But a year later, he told his therapist, "I didn't just escape her. I found myself again." That's the goal. Not revenge. Not understanding them. Recovery and freedom. You've learned the 5 signs. Superficial charm, emotional performance, pathological lying, grandiosity, and absence of conscience. Not everyone who shows one trait is a psychopath, but if you're seeing multiple, consistently, you're not imagining it. On Sunday, I showed you the shadow self, how to integrate your darkness. Today, I showed you how to identify those who haven't, who project their darkness onto the world. Thursday, I'm teaching you strategic detachment, how to love people without losing yourself, how the Stoics maintained relationships without becoming controlled. Subscribe to Valor Vision, because the predators are still hunting, and I'm teaching you to see in the dark. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Stay wise. Stay protected. I'll see you next time.